So I've spoken to the customer about this job a little bit more, and now we've decided to recreate all of the brushed metal that this gun originally had when it left the factory. We were going to just bead blast it and then black oxide it, so it would have a kind of a satin finish, a black satin finish like that P14 that I did in the other YouTube video. But he wants to go all out now and do the graining and the brushed metal, and that's great. We love doing that, so that's good. I'm glad that we were able to include that now in the job. So it makes it a little bit more expensive for him, but it's going to be true now to the original way it was manufactured, and it'll look much, much nicer. You know, because once we got it disassembled, we could see, you know, how bright this bluing was. So that told us, you know, right off the bat that the metal had to be bright when they blued it. And we could just see, you know, now it's been cleaned and disassembled, you can just see a lot of the graining and brushing marks that are in that. It's very fine brushing. It won't be anything like those 1911s we do, but it's there. And it's got some kind of interesting transition lines that we're going to have to pay close attention to. You can see the one right going right through there. Let me just, yeah, you can see it. You know, it's plain as day. There you can really see it. So you can see where the graining goes horizontally here, and then it goes vertically in this area. So you can see that line. So we'll have to duplicate that. We'll put something in there, across there, even tape maybe or something. And it's got the exact same thing on the other side too. You can see right where that transition is, right there. So, but it's not going to be too bad. Like I say, we'll go horizontally. There we go. You can see it too. You can see it in there. We'll go horizontally throughout basically the whole side. All of the sides will go horizontally. And then that one spot, that one area there, once again on both sides, right here, we'll go vertically and make sure we create a nice sharp line there with some tape or something. And on the back, it's all fairly straightforward. It just runs straight up the back strap. So that won't be hard to duplicate. Yeah. I'm going to leave those cross numbers just the way they are. We're not going to repair anything there. We're going to leave it just like that. We're going to preserve every marking that this gun has. Now this barrel section, that's going to be interesting too, and we studied this quite a bit now. You know, once you bead blast it, you can barely ever see any graining anymore. So it's kind of important. I'm glad that me and the customer got this figured out before I bead blasted it, because we would have never been able to grain it correctly. We could have grained it all right, but this way we see exactly how they did it. And you can see once again how bright that bluing is. So that means the metal was bright when it was blued. So here basically everything's going to go horizontally this way along with the pistol. We'll have to study this a little bit more. It looks like it just goes, you know, yeah, from what I can see, it just goes horizontally as well. But when we get into the on the upper part here where the broad arrow is, for example, we're going to be running the graining lines this way. Whereas on the barrel, on this upper section too, it'll also be going this way, up and down. But in these flutes and on the sides, it's going to go horizontally along with the gun. And of course, underneath here, where we've got these convex areas, they will all go this way. They won't go horizontally with the gun. They'll go the other way to give it a nice contrast. So, yeah, so we've studied everything. We've got a chance now to look at everything very close under magnifying lights, and so we see exactly how they brushed it, how they grained it. So we'll make sure that we're very careful to do the exact same thing. So, you know, some of it is just very obvious that you can see just how pronounced some of the graining is. It's very easy to see, but some of it's not. This cylinder will be interesting. They went this way in these little hollows here, and they went this way on these, you know, on the convex parts of the cylinder, and then they went this way on the concave parts of the cylinder. So they went lengthways with those concave parts, but they didn't go lengthways with these concave parts. They went the other way, like this, up and down. So we'll have to go back in there with some kind of a rotary tool and be careful and just recreate. You know, the brushing lines are only just ever so shallow, just, you know, a thousandth or two deep. So we don't have to go in deep. We don't have to molest the metal. Right there is what that is, the serial number. I guess it's hard to see. You can see it right on the edge of the cylinder. Whoever stamped it, they more or less, well, they didn't miss, but you know, the cylinder, you know, they stamped it in a place where the cylinder is very narrow right there. Now the customer did tell me something too about this revolver, and that something was done to the cylinder, and I don't profess to know a lot about revolvers, but he said something was done to the cylinder that already altered it from original anyway, and something about you could shoot 45 long Colts or something in it. So maybe the back of the cylinder was shortened or something, and maybe that's why that serial number area, where'd that thing go again? Yeah, right there. That's why it's just so bloody. I mean, you can't even, if I didn't know what the serial number was, I would never be able to duplicate and get a focus on there before we get a headache. There. But we know what the serial number is. The serial number is 50641. And if we move in really close, we can see that very tops of the 50641, just the very tops of them we could see. So maybe it used to be a full number, and when the cylinder got shaved or whatever, or shortened, maybe that number got partially obliterated. Don't know. But anyway, so that's good. I'm glad that we're going to grain it now. We're going to brush it. It's going to look much, much nicer with a brush finish. Wait till you see it now. So we're going to get going on this thing, and we're going to make drawings and take still pics and mark right on the pictures as to what direction the graining will go. That'll remind us, because once we bead blast this, we really won't have any idea. So it's critical to get that information before we start. We do that on every brushed finish gun that we work on. A Luger, a Mauser, a 1911, it doesn't matter. We take lots of pictures, and we make sure that we mark where the brushing and graining is going to go, and that way we get it right when it's all done. So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll keep moving along on this thing, and we'll have it bead blasted here right away. All right, thanks.